Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero here, Clark Commando 1983, and it's August 23rd. I hope I got the date right, 2024. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. So this is to my channel. This is going to be my first video of my deep dive into one of my favorite series ever, which is Grognard Simulations Death Ride series. And I'm doing Normandy, and I'm going to use Juno Beach for this deep dive. Now, please note, what I'm going to show you today is going to be a couple books, some storage, how I sort my games. I'm going to show you the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division, the organizational chart. I'll go over unit values, a couple of errata things that I got some answers on, nothing big. But this will be officially my first video. It may be a few days or even a week, I'm not sure, before I get to part 2, because part 2, I plan on having it set up and go over the map. So, and I still got to clip the 17th SS Panzer Division. I have all the German at start forces clipped, and I've got the whole 3rd Canadian Infantry Division clipped, and all its supporting units, and I'm going to go over all that. So during this series, I'll put it in a playlist, and you will note that some of my videos will be short and some will be rather long. I love this series. I love wargaming, and it is what it is. So let's see what I can get done. First, this is obviously the box cover. Okay, big deal, right? All right, so that being said, my friend Robert Bodis, and I hope I pronounced your name right, Rob. I still haven't read these books, but he recommended a couple of years ago I was supposed to play the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division at Consim Expo, which didn't happen because of COVID. And if some of you may have seen some of my updates, I did get to finally play this last year. My pancreatic cancer, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I was able to make it. But anyways, this Mark Zuelke, probably mispronouncing that, I'm not sure. But he did a trilogy on the Canadians, which, as an American, right, we tend to focus on the Americans or the Germans. And I really appreciate Rob, and like I said, I haven't read these books, but pointing me towards where I get some good books. On the Canadian war, part of World War II, and especially the D-Day landings, which this whole game is geared towards. So anyways, Juno Beach, right, is the first one in the series. And then you have holding, I believe, here, let me show you here. I got it over here. My cancer-numbed fingers are a little bit slow. But I believe this is the second book in the series, Holding Juno. And then the third book, I believe is right. Yeah, the Breakout from Juno. And that's a trilogy. And there's also another book that I don't have in front of me. I have it in my collection. Is Stopping the Panzers. Okay, so there's 3 books. There's many, many books out there, but that's 3 that I have. So now I guess the next thing, let me just state some basic facts. Death Ride is a platoon and company level game. Death Ride Normandy, it's platoons with companies. I tend to use only the platoon markers, and I'll go into why on that either later in this video or possibly my next video. Now, one thing I love to do, Chris Fasulo at Grognard Sims is great about answering questions, but there is no FAQ out there. So what I've done with each of the series games, and these are really cheap, I just pick up some of these and I label it Grognard Sims, Death Ride Normandy, Q&A, etc. And if I come up with questions, which I have some that I haven't written in here that he's answered through email, but he's really great about answering questions over at Grognard, Chris Fazzulo. But this is where I'll keep my record. I have another book just like this for Salerno and Kursk, and I just don't have the time or the energy to put together a Q&A, but that's what I do. And I said, this is a deep dive, so I'm sharing everything. I also clip my counters with I think this is a 2mm Deluxe Oregon Laminators clipping tool. It's not cheap. They tend to have for breaking here. I think the key is when you clip a counter, you don't need to squeeze it all the way. See, that's like a partial squeeze, and that's good enough to clip a lot of players, I think. But knock on wood, this one's clipped literally thousands and thousands of counters for me. And they give them a great look, which you'll see in a moment. So let's look at the organizational chart over here. I'll try to be as gentle as I can on this. And I'm not gonna, can I fit everything in? Is that important? Not really, but let's get it most in. So this is the 3rd Canadian Infantry Division here with these are, and you'll see the organizational chart will show the blue is the regimental headquarters. These are battalion headquarters with their attached units. Let me zoom in just a little bit because this is errata, not a huge deal. But here I wrote in 5 because there was a 3 here. Now, some people go, what's times 5, Mark? And these don't show every unit. But so, for example, this says times 5. It shows the headquarter unit, plus there's 4 different units that are attached to that battalion that you can use anywhere in that battalion. And I'm not going to get into rules per se in this video. We'll do that in my Learn to Play After Action report. I'll definitely get into rules. But let me show you. So you have the regimental headquarters, okay? And then each of the battalion headquarters with their attached units. And then you have each company of the, 4 companies in this case for each battalion, okay? And this over here is a heavy weapons battalion, it looks like. Yeah, that's what these are. So these are all heavy weapons. That's a lot of machine guns and stuff, okay? Some mortars down here, right? Now let me show you, and then up here is the Corps headquarters, which probably appears in either sword or gold. It's a British Corps that they're attached to. This is the Division HQ. And the units for the Division HQ here, actually I'll place them up there just so you can see where they would go. And these are all the things, so if you look, you follow the lines, right? So the division, all the different regiments, then the battalions, and then what's attached to the division, right? That's what all these are. These are different things that are all attached to the division itself. We'll get into the command and control in the appropriate rules section. And you get some pretty good artillery here, some motorized artillery and whatnot. There's other charts, landing wave charts. I'm not going to cover that today. That's going to be after I get it all set up and start to play. So I said I'd show you let me show you. So the value on the counters for Death Ride. And these are a little bit different layout than, I got to get my cancer numb hand up here. Let's see if we can get that in focus. There you go. So we'll just go left to right. Now this is a company-sized unit, which is made up of, where did I pick this up from? Oh my goodness, Mark, come on. HSN. Oh my God, Mark, you suck. I just picked this up. God, can I read? Oh, NSH, duh. Right here. See, sorry guys, it's really chemo brain. See how this has 3 units and there's actually 4? Well, 3 units are their platoon, or you can have it on the map as a company unit. And I don't use the company units, and I have my reasons why. And like I said, I'll go over that later. But anyways, so I'm going to show you the different values. I'm sorry, honestly, my hands are just numb from my chemo treatment. So left to right, on the top of the counter, of course, this shows it's an infantry company. It's A company of the NSH battalion, which I don't have the nomenclatures down. But you have, so then left to right. So top left is the primary weapon, 6 is the firepower, 4 is the range, and the dash is what type of weapon it is, which will come into play when we go over combat. And then defense, which is it's a company, so it's 30. The bottom is the secondary weapons in the company, which is 12 factors with a range of 2 hexes, and they're a dash, and it has 6 leg movement points. Now there is restrictions that I'll go over in the rules, but on the flip side is if you loaded this guy up in a truck, and you notice he has 36, and the green is truck movement points. Oh, and the defense factor, which says just plain means this is a soft target when it's fired at. And we'll have to go over all that when we get to the combat. And then I'm going to show you a vehicle, okay? And this is, of course, across the board. Here's a vehicle unit. Same as primary weapon. Oh, let me see, you can't really see that well. Primary weapon range at the top with the defense, and the orange means it's a medium target. And the yellow around the movement factor means it's tracked. And of course that will affect movement points, and the medium target will affect combat, which we'll cover later. And we're not going to be doing, I am going to be doing a mix of the basic rules. There's 4 levels of rules in Death Ride. And you can play the most basic all the way up to extreme. I do a mix of the basic with some optional and then some advanced rules. And I'll go over those as when I dig into the actual playing. This is just an air support unit. We'll get into that when I go over those rules. You got some informational markers. There's a bunch that aren't clipped yet. I'm not showing you all of them. I do want to point out, and I'm going to just do it in this video. I'll probably go over it once again when I do get to those rules. But anyways, an artillery unit also has its unit used to place when it's shooting at somebody. And for I do use their optional rules, a artillery assignment, and these are the counters that you would place with either the battalion or regimental or even divisional headquarters, depending on what kind of mission you assign your artillery. And that's kind of neat, but I'll get more into that when we do the rules. So sorting. What I did want to show you, let me give you something to look at. It's a little more exciting. I don't know about exciting, but I'm excited. I really, honestly, just truly love this game quite a bit. I love the details. I can get into a little more when I get the rule book in front of me. But I do think it's very important that you have a good sorting system, and obviously you can do whatever you want. So what I do, well, let me show you. So for example, I showed you on the organizational chart, I have the regiments and then each battalion. So what I do for each battalion, I label it with the game it came out of, the division it belongs to, the regiment it belongs to, and then which battalion. And I literally put one battalion in this baggie. That's it. And so, for example, this says the 3rd Canadian 9th Regiment, the HLI Battalion. Is going to be, and I'm going to try to do this gently, which will be all these units here are the HLI Battalion. Okay, all these guys. Then those will go into a baggie. 3rd Canadian 9th Regiment. Okay, so that means all these battalions over here on the organizational that belong to that regiment are going to go in this baggie. And that's to help ease setup or whatever you're doing later on. That's how I sort them. I got it from somebody on the Grognard Sims years ago when I started getting into Death Ride Kursk. And at Kursk, I even sort a little bit more because you're talking a lot of counters here, folks. And I really believe if you don't have a good sorting system in mind, then ouch. But you can do whatever you want, of course. Now, I do want to point out, and I did the color, so you'll see on the HQ, God damn it, sorry. My hands are really numb from my cancer treatments. That's a battalion HQ. And you notice in the right in orange, by the way, is the which battalion it's from, okay? And then on the regiment, you'll have a regimental ID and whatnot. So I'm not going to totally get into that. Now, what else I've done, and you don't have to play with them, but I'm going to when I play. So, like I said, all the German at start forces, that's it. That's all they start with. A bunch of weapons nests, mostly, but that's it. They do get some reinforcements, but we'll be starting on June 6th at whatever time the scenario starts. Then and here's some more, sorry. Okay, see how I labeled? Now the Germans, 17th Panzer, which I haven't clipped yet, but they'll have an organizational chart just like these, and I'll organize them the same way, but battalion and then a regiment. Also, you don't have to, but I'm going to be using the landing ship rules and everything. So I put, these are in this baggies, 8 LCMs. In this baggies, 39 LSTs. In this baggies, 36 LCTs. And this baggie is landing ship LCIs, landing ship infantry, I believe, 42 of them. And then these are the bigger ships that the troops come off of and will load into the smaller ships and make the run into the beach. Now there is a parameter set up where you don't have to do any of that, but I like detail, so I'm going to be using that, and that'll be part of my series. Also, these are the naval bombardment ships, okay? And there's a chart for all these. There's also some other charts that I'll show you. Well, let's see, maybe I'll show you now. Why not? We've already gone 18 minutes. So these are what I got a clip. Some people don't like this. I personally like these counters. I think they're very readable, but it's an SS unit, so it's got the cameo. But I got 2 sheets that I don't have to clip everything because oh, wait a minute, maybe I do. But yeah, this won't be that bad at all, honestly. And then I also have, which I haven't done yet, informational markers, but I'll clip and do those as I go. And then I think I showed this, but let me just show you the couple other organizational charts. So this is for the ships that do naval bombardment and whatnot. I don't know, well, you can see that. Sorry, the lighting in here sucks. I didn't realize that. And then got I really just love the details. But here's the SS organizational chart that I told you about. I'll be clipping either as I go or the rest of those today. Not sure yet. I do want to get to it. These are the main ships where the troops are on before they get off into their landing craft and stuff. And it tells you who they're assigned to and how many of each type of, landing ships attached. I was pointing. So who they're assigned to, and but it has the name. That's kind of neat, I think. I like that. Some people may not, but oh well. And then I'm not going to unfold it, but you get the at start German forces and their weapons nest. That's only half. That folds out, but I don't need to show that. And then we've got the wave chart, which tells you when they get released and what turn they hit the beach on. So, okay. In the rule book, which I'm not going to show you right now, is the layout of the maps. We'll be starting off with the June 6th scenario. This is half the scenario card in front of it. You get the situation and the victory conditions and all that good stuff. General setup. And note that there's some other stuff you can print out from the Facebook page that can help you with setup. And I believe I know it's on Facebook. It might be on Board Game Geek, Grognard Sims, special rules, more setup stuff. That's the scenario card. I'll be starting on June 6th at the very beginning of the scenario, which will begin at, let's see what time the scenario begins, at 0400. And then we'll see how great or awesome I feel. I'm hoping that I actually get to play through not only June 6th, but continue into June 7th. And that's how the game works. You kind of pick a starting day, and then you can either just play that day for a scenario, or you can play, not going to pull up the map, I want to show you that later. And then it's got its own little thin special rules with historical notes for Juno Beach. But I don't know if I finished my thought. See, that's how chemo brain is that you get to you can continue, and I believe right now with what's out, it covers through June 10th, I believe. And honestly, I think he's going to continue it out past that. He's got more add-ons coming. Utah Beach just came out. But there's quite a bit of game here, guys. And we'll see how far I get. But I'm really excited to do this for you. Thank you for spending the last 24 or 25 minutes with me. I'm going to get these all baggied up. And then I'm going to be clipping the SS. And then if I get time, I'm gonna go and I don't know, maybe tonight I'll actually get the map set up and stuff. And I'll be setting this up in my garage. I'm going to keep this right now where I'm filming inside my game room. And I'm going to keep this open because I want to be able to do some other videos. And, with Terminal Cancer, I like to have multiple games going. So anyways, please comment. It keeps me motivated. Hopefully you come along for the ride. And hopefully this is helpful. And we got a nice base going. I think I covered pretty much everything. You get all kinds of neat toys, by the way, as the allies. You got commandos, and then I don't know if any of these are British funnies. I don't think so. There are some DD tanks up here. you'll see how that works when we do the game. And I don't know, I love it. Maybe by the time you watch a few of these, you might be interested in getting into Death Ride. And I should point out, and I'll reiterate at the beginning of the next video, hopefully, that to play any of these, you need Point to Hawk. That's the base game. And that has all the info counters and the main rule book and all that stuff. And the main rule book, and if you spent your time, is available. Chris will send it to you. I think it's on Board Game Geek for the main series rules. So you can take a gander and look through. And I'll show you in the next probably the next video after I get everything set up and ready to rock, how the rule book is laid out and stuff. Okay? Anyways, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. I just ate up about 26 minutes of your life and mine. But thanks for joining me. I love you all. Bye.